Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sylvia Trihana Fitri. I'm as a second presenter from Group 5. I would like to present the material in Chapter 7 about gender and age. So, I'm as a second presenter will continue the material. The next material is about gender and social class. So, the linguistic features which differ in the speech of women and men in Western communities are usually features which also distinguish the speech of people from different social class. You can see this figure vernacular in by sex and social group in Norwich. This figure show the percentage in pronunciation of women and men. This percentage show men use more the vernacular in form at the end of words. As you can see, a percentage chart of in pronunciation men in social classes are more than higher than women. For example, in pronunciation in Norwich, in words walking and speaking, men using vernacular int, so the pronunciation become walking and speaking without a sound. But for women using standard in form, the pronunciation walking and speaking using a sound. And I have another example in grammar in that rate. For example, multiple negation. For your information, multiple negation is the more general term referring to the occurrence of more than one negative in a clause. So the example for men using vernacular in sentence, I don't know nothing about it. And another for an example for women using standard form. For example, I don't know anything about it. So, a vernacular feature of speech in more frequent men's speech than in women. And I have the last one example in vocabulary. In word, last, and told. Men using vernacular, so the pronouns last and told. But women using standard form, so the pronouns last and told. So boys use more vernacular forms such as consonant cluster. So for brief, in every social class, men use more vernacular forms than women. In all social groups, women generally use more standard form than men, who use more vernacular form. Okay, the next material about age graded feature of speech. Age play a role as a factor that influences people's linguistic choice. By analyzing children, teenagers, and adult speech, sociolinguistics agree that speech has age-graded features. These features show different among different age groups in terms of phrase speech. Phrase speech, it is difficult to determine the gender of 5-year-old child talking on the phone. When boys and girls hit puberty, they develop different pitches. Men are lower in pitch and women are higher in pitch. Social and cultural factors play a role before that physical growth takes place. Young boys' voice often become lower in pitch than girls' voice as a sign of masculinity. Mean that there are male-dominated. For example, in politics, women tend to speak in deeper pitch compared to average women, which either reflect the public preference for voice with masculine association in politics, or show that female politicians are trying to gain acceptance in that male-dominated domain. Only pitch, but there are language patterns that are appropriate for 10 years old and teenagers that disappear as they grow older. Age-graded features there are vocabulary and swear words. Teenagers tend to use more swear words than children or adults. Men restrict swearing to all male settings, whereas women reduce their swearing in all settings. Slang. Slang is an area of vocabulary that young people use. It signals membership to the age group of teenagers. For example, wicked, Fred to describe something they approve. Groovy versus cool to identify the present generation. Pronunciation. Different pronunciation can be a real giveaway in guessing age. For example, pronouncing often as often. It's old-fashioned as opposed to the more modern often in British English. I think that's all of my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.